As I'd mentioned, my name is Scott Gallagher here, and we are here for a fantastic webinar. We've got people from all around the country. I'm sorry that you missed out on some of my introduction music. Had it all set up. It was a lot of fun. We're really pumped here. While we're getting started, just a couple of little housekeeping items. You're using GoToWebinar software. I'm going to answer questions at the end of the webinar. I hope and I anticipate that during this webinar, you guys are going to walk away and say, you know what, I'm glad I spent an hour of my time. That's my main objective here. And while we're going through this webinar, please go ahead and post some questions into the questions box, and I'll answer them at the end. Now, while I'm doing that, and while I'm going through right now, why don't you guys just tell me a little bit about where you are? Because I want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day today to attend this webinar. I know tomorrow is a really big day in the United States, but we do have people from around the globe on here right now. And there we go. We got some audio and good. Michael's in and Stu's got it and Ron. Andrew, I see Andrew is actually just down the street from me in Tinley Park, Illinois. Andrew, I'm sitting in my office in Algonquin, Illinois. I happen to live in Crystal Lake. Daryl's from Atlanta, and Stu from New York, and George from Toronto. I like Toronto. Also Vancouver. We got some Vancouver. Michael is from Nash Vegas. I'm not sure where that is. We got Roy from Southern California. Boy, that's nice. Yeah, Michael says Nashville. It was supposed to say, I guess it was a mistype, but Nashville. And Michael, you're not a fan of me right now. I'm a big hockey fan, so we'll leave it at that, because Nashville's doing really well. But for those of you guys that don't know who I am, I'd mentioned I'm a father. You can see a picture of my son. I've also got a 17-year-old daughter. I've got a book, author, couple of different businesses, entrepreneur, and an adrenalist. I really like to get outside and do a lot of things. I have Canadian blood in me, so I'm a snowboarder. I did spend a lot of money on school. I got myself a marketing degree, sometime in 2000. Opened up my business in 2005 when I moved to the United States. And that's when I founded my internet marketing agency. Now, you guys aren't here listening to the internet marketing agency, and I know I had some of my clients and some of my prospects say, hey, I'm getting on your webinar at 1 o'clock. Well, for you guys, I've got two companies, and the other company, Local Marketing Source, that you see here is what you're here for today. And Local Marketing Source teaches how to build an internet marketing agency and how to deliver the service. One Marketing, the logo up at the top, is the company that delivers the services to small businesses. And One Marketing focuses on the chiropractic industry, but we've got clients in all different types of niches, and we'll talk about that. NapaRx is a company I founded in 2009. I sold it. By 2011, we were doing over 81,000 packages in a year, and that's when I got out of the business. But nonetheless, I am also the author of a book called Internet Marketing for Small Business and Internet Marketing for Chiropractors, and I also created the Accelerated Program for Online Marketers, and you'll see a little bit more of that at the end. I also do a lot of speaking of engagements, and I really enjoy doing a variety of different speaking engagements, and I've spoke on a variety of different stages at internet marketing conventions, transportation conventions, national conventions, and whatnot, and I really enjoy that. But now, well, we're going to listen to this 2-minute video here, and this is just what a few people are saying about some of these services that we provide and some of the education and how we've helped many, many, many different people from around the globe.
Hi, I'm Dan Conatee from Brooks Courier Service, located in Wilmington, Delaware. And I wanted to say a few words about Scott Gallagher, who we met here at the NCAA several years ago. Scott provided us with nice marketing materials that we're able to hand out to potential customers that have very nice graphics and so forth. So we've been very pleased with the service that we have received.
Hello, my name's Larry Schwartz. I'm president of Barron Messenger Service out of sunny South Florida. We recently did search engine optimization with Scott Gallagher, and he got us to the number 2 spot in less than 6 months.
Hi, my name is Mark Spencer from Wireless Consulting in New York. I've been working with Scott Gallagher, who offered us some incredible insight in some awesome internet marketing strategies that really helped our company.
What I liked about Scott is real solid principles on ongoing business.
I had the course in my hands physically for about 2 weeks, and already I've got 2 clients from just using the information in module 1.
I had 5 clients, and that allowed me to quit my job.
I was able to go out and get my first client within the first few weeks.
Hi, my name's Rob Johnstone. I'm with Priority Express Courier in Philadelphia and Edison, New Jersey. We realized that we need a little more direct impact and get in front of customers more consistently, and that's what Scott's really helped us with our emailing, blast efforts, and helping optimize our website so that now we're popping up #1 in a good relationship.
My name is Stephen Nesbitt, and I am the sales director for Complete Innovations out of Toronto, Ontario. Scott helped us achieve #1 ranking for the most competitive keyword on Google. He's the man.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about some real content here and what we're going to do and how I'm hopefully going to be able to help you guys out as we move forward. Excuse me one second, getting over a little cold here. So what we're talking about in this presentation here is how to acquire clients for SEO services that are high value. In other words, obtaining $1,000 per month per client or greater, and then demonstrating the return on investment for them. During this presentation, we're going to talk about different sources to generate leads, how to sell those leads, and what a lot of these leads and prospects are ultimately looking for. Now, just to give you a perspective before, I'm going to take one more minute here and show you what this can do. And this is a recent testimonial. This testimonial is from a dental client in the Chicagoland area. And they've been with us for a year, and we've just got this testimonial in the last couple of weeks. And Dr. Polak out of Total Dentistry in Palatine, Illinois, said in the last 12 months, she's hired a second doctor, opened a second location, remodeled their first location, and are on target to hire a third doctor within the next 2 months. And a majority of their patients are coming from internet searches. Guys, this is a highly valuable service. What you're going to do is you're going to change the lives of business owners once you get this. Don't undercut yourself on this. This is a highly valuable service. And when you deliver this service properly, I'm not talking about delivering it like Dex would deliver it or these $500 a month services are. When you deliver it properly, you're going to change the lives and lifestyles of your clients. It's amazing what can be done. So we're going to talk about here a 7-step sale process, how to acquire business. I'm going to tell you the best source that I have to generate leads, and I'm going to show you exactly what we use to close these leads and the numbers. And mark my words, guys, there's been times that I've been out of the sales environment for multiple years. I almost went a 4-year stretch up until several months ago that I like to get involved in the different areas of my business. And I hadn't been involved in the sales process in a long time. So I actually got out, and this year I've had my own feet on the streets doing my own cold calling. Things have changed a lot in the last few years. The competition is ridiculous. The perception of business owners is very different. I'm glad I went through the exercise, but I want to assure you folks, I'm going to talk about a 90-day a 90-day test for you guys at the end of this presentation. And I've got the more confidence in the world now that I should be up in my numbers because of the results that we were able to achieve. This works. Trust me, this works. Now, the process that we're talking about here, the 7 different steps, is not going to be anything new. But we're going to look at each of these different steps here, and we're going to break each of them down. Obviously, we're going to spend a little bit more time in areas that are more important. In other words, approaching qualified leads, this yellow spot right here, and I'll pull out my pen. I think I can draw this spot right here, is very, very relevant, as well as educating prospects, and then finally, the actual analysis as well. So these are the 3 areas that we're going to spend the most time on. But obviously, your first step is identifying your marketplace. And we're going to take a look at selecting different markets and different business markets that may be relevant, that have high value to them. Now, remember, as I had mentioned, you are offering a service that performs infinitely better than, say, Yellow Pages or Dex. These guys are out trying to sell 10, 12 individuals. We work with chiropractors, and we're not going to take more than one chiropractor in any town, period. It's a conflict of interest. There was a point in time that I had 6 courier companies that were paying me money in the Chicago area for the keyword courier software, or service, sorry, courier service. That was back in 2006. I don't know why I allowed that. It was wrong, and it creates problems, and it's, those are the obvious problems. So when local business owners, once you approach them and whatnot, they're going to have 3 different options that they can employ moving forward. They can go ahead and they can learn the service themselves. All right, now just as a note for an agency, we use downsells into a monthly recurring membership program. The beauty about that is it gives you recurring revenue if they want to learn it themselves and employ it. And some business owners are going to do that. Most business owners are obviously going to hire a professional at some point in time. But during that process, they have a third choice and they're going to postpone it. And typically, you're going to see, if you send out 3 proposals, on average, you're going to see 1, 1, and 1. You're going to close a third of the business that you ultimately meet with. So the business owners, you've got to identify, when you do speak to them, the different implications of each one. We'll talk about some of that. But more importantly is qualified prospects. This term right here, qualified prospects, are very, very important. Otherwise, you're spinning your tires. Trust me on this one. Spend the time up front. As a matter of fact, here's just a quick little side note. My daughter's 17. She's now looking for work, and she comes to me. She's my stepdaughter. She says, "Scott, I need some help." I said, "All right." She says, "My mom says I really don't need a resume." I said, "Well, what are you looking for?" She says, "Well, I definitely want to work with veterinarian offices." I went, "All right. You know what? Your mother's probably right. You probably don't need a resume, but it's going to make a difference." And so we started to do some research, and I had her fill out and get at least 10 contacts, contact names. We want the decision makers, not the front end staff. We want the doctor's name. We want the direct phone numbers. We want emails. We want mailing information. And so she did all the research up front to do this. Boom. We created a form letter, introduction letter, and we were able to do a quick little mail merge. It's the same thing for sales. That's exactly what she was doing. She was selling herself. We're all, identifying prospects up front, guys, is really, really important to identify. And we're going to talk about different areas how to do that and where to find some of these qualified prospects. But mark my words, you're not just out there getting anybody. Now, one thing I've seen with local marketing source is vertically positioned versus horizontally positioned agencies. A vertically positioned agency is going to focus themselves in on one specific industry and identify themselves as the authoritative figure, as opposed to being a general marketing company that caters to everybody. Now, my company, it doesn't mean that I can't. As a matter of fact, I just closed 2 deals today, two software companies, and I target the courier or the chiropractic industry. We used to target the courier industry. So we can handle a lot of different types of businesses, but it's where you position yourself and where you market yourself as the authority. We're going to talk about that. One of our students, Josh Nelson, he bought the program about 4 years ago. He had a full-time job. He had 0 revenue at the time. He's now talking on stages. He actually just spoke at the local search summit, and his presentation was how to build a multi-million-dollar agency. He's now billing $175,000 a month, catering to one specific industry, and that's plumbers. He's got 194 clients, guys. A $2.5 million company that he built in 4 years, working with plumbers on a vertical niche. He fell into being a plumber on a whim. He decided, well, Scott was focusing on courier companies. Maybe I'll focus in on plumbers. And his agency now is bigger than mine. It's amazing. So Josh did a speaking engagement as a 7-figure agency and went through the process. Well, this is some of the stuff that we're going to look at today. And the one big key takeaway is establishing yourself as an authority in the marketplace. Now, when we're looking at different industries that have a value to it, this is being recorded. So you can watch the replay. You don't need to take all your notes down. But you can see here, realtors, attorneys, different legal professionals, that's accountants and business planners, dentists, chiropractors, tax businesses, and the next funeral services. The list just goes on and on and on. And, this one right here, the garage doors, guys. The garage door industry isn't on here. Go and open up your yellow book and find who's spending the most money in the yellow pages. All right. So now that you've identified a niche that you want to target or types of businesses that you want to target, now you've got to identify different methods on how to approach these people. How to approach these people. And I say the best online methods are email marketing. Hands down, build an email marketing sequence and create an autoresponder for that niche and speak to that niche. Don't talk about your business. Talk about your practice if you're dealing with dentists. Talk about stories and whatnot. Creating an autoresponder series is key. Search engine marketing and social media, you know what? Those probably shouldn't be on there. As an agency to find business, yeah, it's nice to be ranked. You've got to be ranked, but you're not going to get a tremendous amount of business that way. Email marketing is good. I have tested Facebook advertising and spending a lot of money on Facebook ads, driving people to webinars and trying to convert that. I spent the last 2 years of my life really trying to automate the lead generation system in a specific niche through all the different marketing pieces that we have. It works, guys. But if you're just starting out, unless you're billing 10 grand a month or more, don't look for leads online. All right? Don't. Now, a little secret about me. You've known what I've done and what I've accomplished. I don't own a cell phone, guys. Scott Gallagher does not own a cellular phone. I haven't owned a cellular phone for 8 months. And the biggest reason why was I noticed that a majority of my communication was electronic, and I wanted to change that. I wanted to get real and face-to-face with people that really care about me. I don't care to have 1,000 friends on Facebook. I care to have 5 close friends in my circle around me that I can lean on and build relationships for. Well, business is no different. And there's no question that when we talk about the different ways to approach people, that the offline methods are the best. Hands down, period. The telephone is infinitely better than an email. Face-to-face is infinitely better than the telephone. You guys do what you want. There's so many people out there that are trying to build leads in so many different electronic ways. Guys, business is business. Relationships are relationships. This is old school stuff. It's not going to change. Human beings are built a certain way, and it's our job to change the emotion inside a buyer. Emotion is conveyed through tonality and physiology. It is not conveyed through the words that we have. It makes no sense to try to earn the right to do business with anybody by only electronic means. So we're going to look at different offline methods. And I haven't even shared with you my best offline method. But we're going to look at some of these right now on how to approach and identify different leads. All right. The second best method, I can't talk today. The second best method, the second best method, I don't know why that one was almost a tongue twister, is trade shows. It's expensive to go, but not that expensive. You're going to spend a couple of grand to go. You're going to spend a booth for, you can get a decent booth for $1,500. And, with hotel and plane and whatnot. But the thing is you go to these trade shows, chances are you're going to be the only vendor there. And when you're there, you put out a fishbowl. You give away an iPad or an iPhone or something, $200-$300. You say, give me your business card. Guess what? You're now building a fantastic email list that you've built off of people that have seen your face. It's killer. After every trade show, we'd pick up between 50 and 100 cards. We'd conduct a webinar afterwards. We'd generate between 5 and 10 leads. We'd send out between 5 and 10 proposals of the presentations that we'd have, and we'd close 2 to 3 clients. Each client is valued at $1,000 per month, minimum of 6 months. We have a retention rate of over 12 months. Each client is worth about 12 grand in business. We get 3 clients, it's $36,000 in business. We run about a 40% profit margin. So you're looking at about $16,000 in profit for a $2,000 to $3,000 investment at trade shows. It's a heck of a return. Chamber of Commerce are relatively the same, but the return isn't the same because of the audience is not. I mean, chamber events are free versus industry trade shows that they spend at. But chamber events are local and they're easy to get to. Well, yeah, cold calling. Guys, if you're just starting out and you got 0 customers, bite the bullet, start the cold call. It's actually a lot of fun. It's not nearly as scary as what people think it is. When you start to employ a couple of the strategies I'll talk about in a moment, cold calling will definitely support that. But better than cold calling is actually door knocking. And when we talk about our 90-day strategy in a few minutes, I'll show you how you establish yourself as an authoritative. And it was probably 6, 7, 8 months ago, I grabbed my book, Internet Marketing for Chiropractors, and decided to, I didn't have a client in my local town that I lived in. So every time I went home, I would drop off another book. These books are really, really easy to make. Can you imagine walking into a dentist office with a book and your face on it and you handing it to them and you hand it to the dentist? How many dentists do you have to give a book before they call you? Easy peasy, guys. Door knocking with an authoritative source is valuable. Valuable. Yellow Pages. I mean, every time the yellow book shows up at my office, I love it because I'll spend the day just looking through all the ads. Well, guess what? Those are leads. And, I'd mentioned the garage door industry. Well, this is something that's been irking me for about 3-4 years because I don't know a single agency that focuses in on that industry. But yet they spend more money than everybody else in the yellow pages. So I had my team call them, cold call them. Guess what? You'd be blown away at the results. Go through the yellow pages and pick up the phone and say, Mr. Prospect, I see that you're spending probably $1,000 a month on a full page ad in the yellow pages. And when I go and look for your top keyword in Google, you're not ranking in the top 2 or top 3 results. I just want 15 minutes of your time where I can come. I'm going to spend an hour on research on your company. I'm going to present you with all my findings as to why you're not ranking, and then give you a step-by-step 1-year plan that you can implement yourself in your business to get ranked number 1. Of course, I'm also going to give you a proposal if you want to hire us because you're a plumber and that's what you do. But yellow pages are fantastic. Same thing with local publications or trade publications. Every industry's got trade publications. Get those trade publications. They're very, very cheap because they're typically offset by the advertisers. And look at the companies that are advertising in there. I deal a lot with courier companies and transportation companies. I go and get Courier Magazine. I open up Courier Magazine. Guess what? Courier companies left and right are advertising in there. I don't know why. Not the best place to advertise for a courier company, but they do. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit in there. And my best source, yeah, direct mail. No questions asked about how powerful direct mail is. If you are billing $5,000 a month or more, you better start doing direct mail. If you're not doing direct mail, why not? So the first thing we do is we identify all of the prospects. Guys, you might hear a couple of dogs barking a little bit in my office. We bring our dogs, and I see somebody's just coming home from lunch or coming back from lunch, and sometimes they bark, so you'll hear them. Dogs are really good in the office, by the way, if you like animals. So you pick your niche, and then you get your list of individuals. We buy our lists from Info USA. You don't have to buy your list. You can just do searches for it and get the information. Get the Owner's name. Always contact the owner. Just take my words for it. Don't even think about it. You can't sell to anybody else. Don't sell up. It's easier to sell down in a company. But your first mailing, you're going to create your book. Here's my book for internet marketing for chiropractors. Do you know how hard it is to make a book? My book is 100 pages, and you know when people, you have a book? Holy, you know how easy this is, guys? Well, first of all, LMS students have access to a book that we've written for them. They put their name on it. They put their company logo on it. They send it to createspace.com and get it printed for $2.31. Done. Boom. Or you can write the book yourself. It takes time to write a book and whatnot. You want to know a better way? I'm doing a webinar right now, right? I have a webinar for One Marketing that I provide presentations to. Do that webinar. Takes an hour to do. Record yourself. There's a little button and go to webinar. You hit record. You take that recording. You send that recording to Fiverr. You say, transcribe this for me. For about $30, you'll get it transcribed. You then send it to an editor and say, edit this into a book. Boom. For about 50, 60 bucks and a couple of hours of your time, you have a book. It's actually really, really easy. And trust me, all the information, you guys already know it. This information is there. It's really, really easy. So we send out the book. We created a DVD that we send out, put it into a manila envelope, write it by hand on there. What is it going to look like, guys, when they get a handwritten, bulky package with a book, a DVD, and a letter? Second mailing, DVD number 2. This is a training DVD. You get into a lot more information, of course, a letter, and we'll send it out in an express pack. It's a different package. Who doesn't open express packs? If you get to the third mailing, money bag, DVD number 3, and letter, and then follow up with phone calls. Our last campaign, out of one local town, the town was 30,000 people. We communicated with 17 chiropractors and have now had 5 meetings. Of course, you're only going to close one. All right. Now that you have approached prospects, the next step is educating prospects. We've talked about the book or reports, okay? It's important to have, identifying, you can conduct different workshops, local workshops or seminars to bring people in. It's the same thing as a webinar. Webinar, seminar, same thing. One's electronic, one's not. You can educate through different social channels and send education through email marketing. And these are all the channels that we feel like that you should have set up. We talked about an email autoresponder, acquiring the information for branding purposes. It's very, very important to move forward with that. Have your webinar prepared or your presentation. You're going to have one presentation for these 2 items right here. You're going to create your report and or your book. Have that. Email marketing. Obviously, website is not on here. Well, not obviously that it's not on here. Website is an important factor, but it's a given. All right. Now, you don't need a website. And of course, you just have to be on social media. I am not a fan of it. I don't really feel like I get a lot of business from social media at all, but I do feel like it's necessary. Now, when you're communicating with these prospects in the sale process, it's a step. You go step by step, and you have a goal with each step. And once you initially communicate with them, your goal is not to close the deal. It's to earn the right to do an analysis on their business. That's when you sit down and you present them with a bunch of information. And when you present them with a bunch of information, that's when we start our sale process. And at this point in time, if you've we follow certain numbers. So let's say you're cold calling. You make 100 phone calls. You should reach 30 decision makers. 30 decision makers should result into 10 meetings. 10 meetings should result into 3 proposals. 3 proposals should result into 1 sale. So for every 100 phone calls you make, you should be getting at least 1 sale. These are average numbers. A good salesperson is going to exceed that, but a new salesperson after 3 months of working with a company should be getting those numbers. Once that sale process starts, again, there's a system that goes along with it. And what we employ is the SEO Sales Trail. It's a proprietary process for selling this high-value service. This is based off of a very, very well-known sale process called solution selling. Some people call it consultative sales. It was developed in the early 80s by Xerox, and it's now being trained by major business-to-business corporations around the globe. I initially got some training in the 90s, and every corporation that I worked for provided some sort of training for consultative sales. That's what we're looking at here today. This is a process for selling high-value services. It can be applied to everything. We're going to be talking about search engine optimization terminology for local businesses. Now, it is education-based selling as well. That's another term that's used for this, education-based selling. But essentially, they're all the same. What you're doing is you're identifying the problem within the prospects, and you're saying, how I'm the solution. Well, guys, there's a few things about buying behaviors that we need to know. One of my first classes in marketing was called consumer buying behavior. And there's elements that are involved when a buyer goes through. Now, we've got to differentiate the difference between a customer and a consumer. A consumer is an individual that buys for their own needs, their own personal needs. A customer, when I say customer, I'm talking a business-to-business sale. It's a business, and businesses purchase for different reasons. Consumers purchase for wants and needs. Businesses purchase for needs only. Well, when there's a surplus of revenue, of course, there's some wants when there's the nice parties and the nice rides and all that neat stuff. But generally, there's human emotion that's involved. Emotion is a very big key factor when we think about these things. But generally, people buy products and services to solve a problem. I need to get from point A to point B, so I buy a car. I can get a Kia or I can get a BMW. Guess what? The BMW gives me a greater emotional feeling than the Kia. That's where emotions start to come in. Now, that's a consumer-based purchase. But for businesses, it's about the problem. So it's your job to identify that these businesses have a problem when you're there, and you offer them a solution. So when we identify problems, what we're going to do is we're going to take that problem and create pain within the customer. We're going to make the prospect feel pain. We're not trying to manipulate anybody here, and we're not trying to do anything that's wrong. But for example, I bang my head. I got a prospect right now. No, they're not a prospect. They're a client. I had to think about that one. And it was a client, and he has a list, an email list of customers, and its email list is 1,200 people. And I think, holy fuck, guy. Pardon my language, but I'm telling you, man, I'm so frustrated at it because it's like, dude, you got a huge problem here. Your problem is you're missing out on a bunch of business. And I could solve this problem with email marketing like that. You have 1,200 names. I can show you return on investment inside 30 days. If I don't give you an ROI inside of 30 days, I'll give you your money back, man. And I get so frustrated because, what are you waiting for? I got you to #1 on Google. We built you a nice website. Trust us. This is the cheapest services of them all. But you've got to identify the pain. And so we focus on creating that pain to say, look at Mr. Prospect. You got a lot of money that's going out. Why don't you just go and light a $100 bill outside right now? Because it's no different. Wouldn't that hurt you? Why don't you go do that? and tell me how it makes you feel. That's what you're doing right now. We obviously solve their pain and we relieve their pain with our products and services. And in solution selling, the salesperson asks a lot of questions in order to get the buyer to agree with the seller. When I say a solution must provide a measurable improvement, well, businesses buy based off of needs. And those needs have to be justified. In other words, a return on investment. This is not an expense. This is an investment. All right, so the SEO sales trail, we're going to look at the 3 different stages here of what goes on. And the first thing that I said is you're going to create some pain for the prospect. Well, how do you create some of this pain for search marketing services? We use a couple of tools that are out there. Number 1, we demonstrate that there's business on the internet. Well, you can easily just show the prospect or customer, hey, here are some of the keyword searches. Or show them that report from Google that says that 97% of consumers use the internet to find a local business. 97% of people in the United States that buy from a local business have used the internet to find a local business. 67% of all new business from local businesses is from an internet search. In other words, everybody has access to do this, and almost everybody has used the internet to find local businesses. 2/3 of them use them all the time to find a company. There is business on the internet. Number 2, prove that their competition is beating them. Oh, that's easy. Do a search, right? Next thing we do, we throw some salt on that wound. Now that they realize, hey, there's opportunity out there and my competition is taking that opportunity, I'm getting a little bit pissed off. Well, now is the time that you really agitate that wound, okay? And we're going to prove to them that there really is a lack of online exposure. We use a tool called Bright Local, and it is just a simple report. As a matter of fact, why don't I just show you that report, right? I know we just downloaded one recently. All right. So here's a little report that we provide them. And this is going to agitate it, you know. They want to see green faces. People could relate to this stuff. Look at Mr. Prospect. You got a poor listing here, you know. Let's go take a look at some of this stuff. Where are we going to agitate some wounds? Where are we going to... All right, Mr. Prospect, look at, you know, your number 1 keyword, chiropractor, you know, chiropractic services. You're ranking number 6 in maps. You're ranking number 3. You're ranking number 11. Ooh, that doesn't look good, does it? Some of the reasons why you're not ranking, Mr. Prospect. Look, you know, you've got half your titles on your pages are not unique. That's like having the same title on a different chapters in a book. It makes no sense. You know, you're not taking advantage of getting your reviews. Well, Mr. Prospect, your business has been built off of word of mouth advertising, and you're not even leveraging word of mouth advertising. Okay, they're getting a little bit pissed off now. You know, we start to look at things like, you know, Mr. Prospect, you don't even have a map on your page for Google. So 2/3 of searches are on mobile devices. And if you had that, it would be 1 click and then they can get driving directions, and you don't have that. Don't you think that Google would want that? Why don't you have that on your website? Why didn't your web developer put that there? You know, you really want to start to do this stuff. You look at some of the different listings. Well, here's why, Mr. Prospect. You know, we only found 13 listings. When we get a new client, we're going to get 15 to 20 in the first month alone, and get 15 and 20 every single month. Some of these listings are like, look it, you're not even listed on Axiom. And Axiom is one of the 3 major data providers in the United States. That makes no sense. City Search, Info USA, data provider number 2. Massive. And you don't have your business listed in there. What's going on? You haven't claimed Foursquare. I could see that you're doing some stuff on Google. You got 43 pictures on Google, but look at your ratings. 1.3 out of 5. I'm going to show you in a little bit, Mr. Prospect, that the average for chiropractors has got to be 3.0. Why are your customers so pissed off at you? Well, that's what we got to fix. Google is not going to rank when the average chiropractor is 3 stars out of 5 and you're at 1.3. Well, they're getting pissed off by this point. And I mean, I'm only a little bit through the report, all right? I'm not going to spend the time in that report. So as I had mentioned, prove to them that there's a lack of online exposure. I didn't even go through some of this. We looked at some, then we'll do a competitive ranking report. I didn't show you the competitive ranking report. That's just saying where the competition is. That's even throwing more salt on the wound. This is some of the stuff that you did see right there. Now that you've pissed them off, you got to make it all right and provide relief. All right. As you're going through the wound agitation stage, they are going to recognize that there is opportunity, that you could fix some of this stuff, and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Obviously, the relief is your solution. There's a price associated to that, time frame, and expectations. But here's the process. All right. So we call this the assessment or online analysis or prospecting meeting, whatever you want to call it. But you got to prepare for it. The first thing that you're going to do is some research. We have a template that we put together. We call it a website assessment template. It's just different information that's in here. Different their top keywords and whatnot. We use software like Bright Local. I recommend Bright Local. You've also got a couple of other solutions out there, but I like those guys. Then we'll generate the ranking report. That was that SEO report that you saw, and then popularity report, citation report. And we go through those 3 stages. So then you get prepared, you go, and you have your meeting with them. You provide them with a proposal, and then you follow up. So what I've got here, guys, $10,000 mark seems to be a pretty important milestone for agencies. At the $10,000 a month of recurring revenue, you could really make a lot of different changes, grow your business. You're not working in your company as much as on it, as you will be on it. So we've got our 90-day challenge here. I got 6 steps for you. This has been used by many, many, many local marketing source students. Many have achieved success from it. But I'm telling you right now, guys, there's no magic button here. There's no easy button. You can't go and buy a product online and hope that you're going to get successes. It all comes down to one thing. And you've heard it many of times before, and it's taking action. Lift up your skirt, grab your balls, and get out there and make some calls. It's that simple. Activity is what you need to do. Now, Abraham Lincoln said, if I had 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend 6 hours sharpening my axe. That's so true in sales too. So when you're doing some research, what we could do here is, here's a strategy. You can identify either one target niche and focus in on multiple cities, or identify 6 target niches and focus in on your own city. Either way, we're going to generate 60 prospects. So you want to research 10 low-hanging prospects in either each city or each niche as a minimum. 10. When I say low-hanging prospects, that's not somebody that's ranking number 1. That's not somebody that does not have a website. Do you follow me? Low-hanging prospect would be somebody that has paid a lot of money in advertising in Yellow Pages and is ranking 3 through 10, has a website, maybe some sort of other exposure that's out there. You get them into an Excel sheet, you get their information, and you're now going to contact them. We've talked about different ways to be able to communicate with them. Offline mailing being very, very lucrative. Electronic, not so good. Your goal with this stage is to earn the right to 15 minutes of their time, and that's it, 15 minutes. Now, chances are you're going to spend a lot more time with them. But at the 15-minute mark, I always look at the watch and say, hey, we've reached 15 minutes. I got a lot more stuff to show you here. Do you want to continue? I always book myself an hour. But the thing is you ask for 15 minutes of their time, because everybody's got 15 minutes. And you're going to show them value in 15 minutes. And that's what you're selling. You're selling 15 minutes of their time initially. Once you're in there for 15 minutes, well, you've got different objectives. Once you've earned the right to 15 minutes of their time, you're going to provide the assessment. That's the SEO Sales Trail that I went through fairly quickly, and you send them a proposal. So as you start off with 60 prospects. Start off with 60 prospects. You want to get 20 meetings out of 60 prospects. Out of 20 meetings, you're going to send a minimum of 7 proposals. With that, you should close 30%. It's 2 to 3 new clients. At a value of $1,000 to $1,500 per month per client, you do that 3 times, once per month, for a 3-month period, and that's going to give you over $14,000 a month in recurring revenue. You're shooting for 10. Here it is again. 6 target niches, 10 prospects in each niche. Get a 30% conversion. You get 20 meetings with prospects. Get a 30% conversion. They get 7 proposals out. You're going to close 30%, 2 to 3 new clients. It's about $4,000 in recurring revenue per month added to your bottom line. All right. I want to see if I've got any questions, any problems. Wow, I got a lot going on here. Ken, yeah, there's going to be a recording. Shelton says, seems like $1,000 of paid traffic might be a better return on investment than it is for SEO. Shelton, let's open that door up. All right, 80% of traffic on a search goes to organic means. So right off the bat, I've got 4 times the traffic to show a return on investment over paid means. There's no way, dollar for dollar, that pay-per-click AdWords outperforms organic listings. I will argue that one and show statistics, research, whatever it takes for the argument of this presentation. Most local businesses are going to get a massively greater return on investment. Number 2 is not paid either. It's email marketing. There's studies after studies that are showing this stuff. Paid advertising is getting more and more and more and more expensive. So, Cheryl says, what do you mean by mail merge? I'm going to get through some of these questions. We got quite a few questions here. I'll get through that. But what I want to do, guys, right now, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share some information with you. I hope you got something and learned something. Right now, I'm going to spend 5 minutes and tell you about what we have. Yes, this is a sales pitch. So if you don't want to listen to my sales pitch, this is your time to get off the line. At the end of this sales pitch, I'm going to give you access to a free marketing course in my portal, and I'm going to go ahead and answer any questions that you might have. Now, understand that sales pitches aren't bad, because I'd be doing you guys a disservice if I didn't tell you about what we do have to get some further education and some of the stuff that we've been able to accomplish. So our membership is really straightforward. We've really simplified it, and it just gives you access to everything that we've ever done. All right. Now in there's over 100 videos, there's webinars, there's Q&A like at 3 o'clock today. I do my weekly calls. Those are all in there. There's hundreds and hundreds of those. There's all the workbooks. But one of the more important things is you get all the management files that we use in my business, and they're available to you all the time. Remember that book that I was telling you about? You get my Word document for that. I'll give you that. All right. You get all of that. The most important aspect, I think, of the membership is our private Facebook group. That's where all my members are. Guys like Josh Nelson and Scott Meadows. some very, very successful people that have been a part of the program for quite some time, and they're always in there chiming in to talk and help some new people. We all get off in helping people. I mean, we're servants to society. You get your weekly calls. You also get student hot seats. So we interview successful students. We also interview brand new students, some of the pain that they're going through. And guess what? You guys all go through the same stuff. All this, even the same stuff I went through. Now, why you might want to get this is you really get a lot. I mean, a lot of our students say that, hey, this is, the only place that I've ever had to buy. I've spent thousands of dollars. Like Josh Nelson keeps telling me, Scott, I owe you thousands of dollars of money, man. You've helped me out so much, and that's all I ever used was your program. But you also get the support that goes along with it. So, anytime we hold your hand when we can to help you get through and any challenges that you might be facing. We really try to be fresh. Every month we come up with new content, and every week on the weekly calls and whatnot. Here's actually a picture of Josh and his wife and his new son. Just some of his history that we had mentioned. And we've got different students that follow this. This is just a phenomenal thing. It's pretty awesome what he's done. I'm just going to fly over this slide, but all the different content you get. You guys are seeing a sale process here. I mean, mark my words that we really spend a lot of time into, how to deliver this service and whatnot, and each in itself. It's very, very robust. We're going to actually go and take a look at the portal right now. So here's what you see inside the portal. When I'd mentioned the resource directory, here's all the different resources that you have available to you. So we were looking at sales and marketing resources on this presentation. And with the membership, we're going to give you all the contracts that we use, the different proposals, the sales trail checklists, PowerPoint presentation. You've got the PowerPoint presentation available for you. You can download this stuff immediately. But on the operational side, whoops. This is planning and resources, my bad. On the operational side, you're going to get all the checklists for Google Places and Google Local, organic, checklists for websites, my own email marketing swipe files that we use for email marketing, some management files here. This client asset inventory is killer. It's a killer document. It's used quite a bit. So you can just see the list of all the stuff you get. So those are the documents. Here's all of our videos under local search. So, we have the 3 pillars of local search. You may have seen our webinar on that. It's a 1-hour webinar. Well, here's about 3 hours just on pillar number 1. And then, Elements members, all your calls, webinars, hot seats, and all that neat stuff. The private Facebook group. Here's our group right now. It's fairly active. Mark is just asking some questions, and I should probably close down my personal conversations on Facebook. Efren's been a student for quite some time, and now he's just starting to get going, and blah, 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 blah. Anyhow, let's move on. I know my sales pitch is going long here, and I apologize. So we've already seen the testimonial video, right? We don't need to go through our student testimonials. We have it available to you, and there's hundreds on this video if you wanted to see it. But you will see it on the sales page if you want to watch our testimonial videos. So just a quick little recap here. You get your training, all right? You can stream your training. You can watch it anywhere. We've created everything so it works on iPhones, tablets, blah, blah. You also get, one thing I didn't show you is get transcripts of everything. So you print up the transcript word for word, and you can go word for word with when I'm talking. And take your notes. You get your weekly calls. Transcripts. We're available through the telephone. We have a support management portal that you can get to. You can contact us through the Facebook group, and you can contact us through email. So we're highly, highly accessible. Heck, if you want to sign, I'd give you my cell phone number. Now, here's your bonuses. Yay, you know, they say in sales, let's show some bonuses of what you're going to get. Guys, the real value you're going to get is the community, okay? Mark my words. When you see the price that you're going to pay for this, I don't know. Why don't you guys start writing stuff in right now? What do you think this membership is worth on a monthly basis? I mean, it's not going to change our price with the next slide, but I'm curious. You know, what is this worth to some people? How much would you pay for this? Daryl, wow, that's low, buddy. Remember Josh? You know what Josh paid for this? $2,479. 2,000. I did ask, didn't I, Daryl? I did ask. What's the value? Oh, you're increasing your price, Daryl. Oh, well. All right. Let's move on. How's that look, Daryl? Look familiar? That's what we charge, okay? When you pay for it, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's $100 a month. You can cancel at any time. Guys, you get in, you don't like my stuff, we'll give you your money back. Oh, wow. Anybody? Daryl, are you in the United States? Because if you are, all right, all right. Well, then I'll give you a Thanksgiving Black Friday special. You know, Americans really like Black Friday, right? They all get hyped up about Black Friday. This time, guys, once a year, we do a Black Friday special. And I get a real kick out of it as a Canadian because Americans are all about deals, man. So once a year, our price is $97 a month that we sell all year around. We've got over 800 different members that have bought into our program. And they've paid a variety of different prices. Last November, we decided to have a Black Friday special, and here we are again. That's where you go to buy, all right? That's where you buy for $47 a month. Guys, we're offering this. This is a price you're going to lock into. You're going to lock into it for a month. Let's say you cancel and want to come back, because we get a lot of students that have done that. We won't give you the 47 bucks. You buy before midnight on Friday. It's as simple as that. There's your link. Buy it, get in there, check it out. Mark my words, if you don't like it, please ask for your money back. Get the money back guarantee. 13% of our students refund and ask for their money back. This seems high, doesn't it? It seems high for a traditional business, but the information business on the internet, an 87% retention rate is ridiculously high. Talk to any information marketer. We're happy to give you your money back because I'm sorry, I don't want to work with somebody that's not fully committed. So there's your registration, guys. Go ahead and get it. And I also told you that I was going to give you access to a free marketing course. It's a part of the portal. You get to at least get in and just kind of see a couple of the videos. There's the link there. And realize that, hey, this is, you know, when you're typing this in, that's an underscore. LMS promo. Underscore. Yeah, Stu, that's exactly it. LMS underscore promo. And Daryl, no, Daryl, the sale doesn't end Saturday. It ends Friday at midnight. I don't know if it's midnight Central Time or Eastern Time or maybe it's Arizona time. We're kind of messed up because my business partner lives in California. We're an Arizona-based company because that's where he used to live, which is another time zone. I'm in Chicago, which is a third time zone. So I don't really know. I just was told midnight on Friday. Yeah. And is your book a part of this? What an awesome question. Because there's a lot of value in that book, guys. Remember I said establish your authority. I've got the book. Now, while I recommend that you write your own book, I do give you the Word document, the Microsoft Word document of my book. I do give you permission to take my name off of there and put your name on there. But I don't give you permission to sell it. I only give you permission to use that book with your name on it as a free giveaway. And that's it. So yes, it is included. Can you believe that? You can spend $47 today and go and download all that stuff. Now, we have students that have done that. But mark my words, those aren't the ones that are refunding or asking for their money back. They're getting the value. And we hope at that point in time you start to see the value in it. And, you know, we've had students that have been members for years. So let me get into answering some of these other questions that were up here. Mike Otjepka says, go Lightning. Go Tampa Bay. I don't think so, my friend. Ken Kruger is asking, yes, there is a recording of this. Cheryl says, what do you mean by a mail merge? What do I mean by a mail merge? I'm showing you. Oh, you get to see all my proposals. And there's a credit card authorization form you guys get, by the way. You know, just a document we send to get customers. Here's a proposal template that you get. Here's also another. This happens to be up on my computer. So what am I looking for? I'm just showing you a quick little mail merge here, rather than trying to explain it. It's really easy. So here's an email or a letter that was written that's prepared with a mail merge, and it's my chiropractor number 2 email that goes out, or letter, sorry, snail mail. And when I'm dealing with a mail merge functionality right here, you can see I set it up to put, hey, company name, you know, first name, last name, address, boom, 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 boom. And it's pulling information from an Excel file that I've created. And when I go and preview the results, you know, here's result number 1, you know, here's number 2, it changes, you know, number 3. So I hope that helps a little bit. Cheryl's saying, you know, do you have a cold calling script? There is no cold calling script in the portal. I have cold calling scripts. What I would suggest, Cheryl, is a couple of options. Once you make your purchase, send me an email at scottg@localmarketingsource.com. And I will send you my scripts. We actually have just one printed up here somewhere. Yeah, I do. So I'd be happy to send you a script, a cold calling script that probably is something that we could put into our portal too. And option number 2, or you can take both options, is sign up for a student hot seat. It's a 1-hour presentation that we focus only on you. and we'll use our resources and the resources of the local marketing source students to create a formal script for you. Ron. Please touch on what you charge for a new local biz for local SEO. Ron, I mean, gosh, what do I charge for local SEO? It's all over the map in terms of thought processes for it. Let me start off by saying you open up marketing books and there's going to be 7 different pricing models that you work with. We use a cost plus pricing model and value pricing model, and we combine it. My margins, for example, I need to maintain a minimum of a 40% variable profit margin, and I need to maintain approximately 10 to 20% net margins in my company. And as long as I'm achieving those margins, my price is dictated by that. Now, the other thing that we got to look at is, let's say I was getting $500 a month from a chiropractor. Well, and I got to have a 40% variable profit margin. That means 60% goes into expenses. What is that? About $300. And that's exactly $300. So if I'm bringing in $500, it's costing me $300 to deliver that service, but I still have to pay for the lights in the office and all that stuff. $300 to get a chiropractor number one inside of 6 months is not going to happen. I got to do a lot more. I've got to pay people an hourly wage to acquire 15 citations per month, to build 1 video a minimum per month, 1 press release on a quarterly basis, acquire reviews, implement reviews, their time communicating with the customer. You can't do it for $300. It's not going to happen. So we charge a minimum of $1,000. And, when somebody, well, what about Dex? They're charging me $500. Yeah, fuck, Dex is selling to 10 different people. Why are they going to get you number one? Are they looking at the 3 pillars? Like, you guys should watch our 3 pillars review, because all they focus in on is 1 pillar. The second pillar being reviews. What does Dex get involved with getting more reviews, positive reviews for a customer? They don't. The third one being citations. Yeah, they say they get citations, but are they getting citations with the local newspapers and the local chamber of commerce and etc.? No. Cheryl's asking, do you have the 12-month step process we can offer them in a proposal? Yes, that comes with your template, Cheryl. That's in your proposal. You could use my proposal templates for that. So yes, that comes with the program. Daryl's saying, how much is the program per month? Well, Daryl said it's worth $97 a month. He said he'd pay $100 per month. So Daryl's going to buy on Saturday at $100 a month, because that's what it's worth to him. But everybody else, you can buy today for $47 a month. Daryl, if you go and try and buy, I'm going to cancel your membership. Totally kidding, man. Here's a great question from Camran. And Camran's asking, what kind of time is required to fulfill 1 new client approximately? Approximately 30 to 40 hours in your first month of man hours. After that, you're looking at approximately 20 hours per month of man hours. Stu, I am wondering if you use 800 toll-free numbers as a part of the marketing. I don't know what you mean by that, Stu. Mr. Williams is asking, in your program, do you go over the process of setting up an agency website? I don't know what you mean by the process, Daryl. We don't no, we don't have step-by-step processes on how to set up a website. But what we do have in all of our training is from a marketing perspective of what you're trying to acquire from your website. In other words, the components that are involved, the testimonial videos, and we go through all of that stuff. But I don't go through over the process of WordPress. All right. What I do go over is how to manage the process of setting a website in WordPress by hiring a WordPress expert. But I am not a web developer. I am a marketer. Now, when it comes to websites and building websites, I tell this analogy to all my prospects and customers. It's like building a house. You've got a plumber, you've got an electrician, you've got a general contractor, you've got a foreman that manages the construction of all of this. You've got a realtor that sells it. I'm the realtor. I'm the marketer. I'm the one that understands people's emotions and converting and creating copy and images and what works. My developer understands ones and zeros and code. My designer understands colors and graphic design. And my project manager is the foreman that oversees everything. Cheryl, all right. Nice. Good job, Daryl. Send me an email once you do buy to introduce yourself and all that neat stuff. Selling an 800 service, Stu is asking about. Selling an 800 service to increase customer leads to your clients. No, never done that. One thing that I've really tried hard with my business is I'm not a full service provider, and I've debated about this quite a bit. I think you can be a full service provider in a niche, but I've wanted to position ourselves and identify the real core competencies that we have. We're going to get you number one, Google organically. That's what we do. And that's what we're good at. That's what we're passionate about. That's what we do. So I do have, I do make a little bit of money off of reselling domain names and hosting. And I probably could make a little bit off the top for selling 800 numbers. But one thing that I've really found as a struggle is continuing to focus on that upsell. And, you've got to have that theme across the entire business. But so I'll wait a little bit here, guys. I don't have any more questions. Let's see if I've got anybody with their hands up. Yo, everybody put your hands up. Since you guys didn't hear any music when you came on earlier, I did have some nice music playing. Any Canadians on the line? Yeah, we had somebody in Vancouver. Anybody that can name this song right now? Anybody that can name this song right now? The first person? I got a gift for you.
Loose and complete under sky so smoky blue-gray. I can't foresee a Dixie ditch, so it danced the sidewalk thing. My memory
Hint. It's like the Beatles in Canada.
is muddy. What's this river that I'm near? New Orleans is sinking, man, and I don't want to swear.
Woo! We're just having too much fun over here. Guys, all the content is over. Nobody's named the song yet, though. What if I give a free membership to somebody that can name it?
What's wrong? What's going on? Can't tie yourself up for a deal.
All right, Lex, my email, scottg@localmarketingsource.com. You got it. It's from the tragically hip New Orleans is sinking. All right, guys, I'm going to close out now. Hope you all have a good day. Lexa's already a member. All right. Send me an email, Lex. Anyhow, I gotta honor myself. So you're already a member. We'll give you a credit for $47. Not bad, huh? You name one song, you just made $50 today, pal. Nice work. But you got to send me that email. All right, we'll talk to you later. Any more questions, guys? Are you Canadian, Lex? Or is Lex gone? I got to find out. Vancouver, man. Dude, Vancouver is like the sickest city in North America. It is so amazing. That's right. I remember seeing that one. I'm actually, you'll appreciate it then. I'm really stoked because in January 13th, I'm going to see The Hip at the Chicago House of Blues down here in the U.S. And I've never seen The Hip with less than 10,000 people at a concert. And I mean, I remember seeing them at Edenfest in 1992. There was over 100,000 people at a 3-day festival, and they were the headline band. And you know, I remember Bush was there. You know, back in the 90s, there were some really big name bands, and they beat them out. But at the Chicago House of Blues, it's only got a capacity of 1,000 people, so it's going to be pretty wild to see them. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked by it. I'm really excited, actually. All right, I'm going to go now. I got my call coming up soon. All right, bye for now, guys.
Thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week, so if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.